I want you to imagine it's a work day, like any other work day. Only on this day, you get a little extra gussied up. You put on an outfit that you know you look great in. And you're leaving. You jump in your car, and you just drive 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and you walk into a community center or a hotel ballroom or a conference center that you've never been to before. And you meet people that you've never seen before, you've never heard of. And by the time you jump back in your car, you don't have a pocket full of business cards. You actually have a handful of new clients. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Yes.
Does that sound like a good day?
Yes.
If that sounds like a good day to you, then I invite you to embrace public speaking to gain clients. Because public speaking does something for you that networking cannot do, that advertising will never achieve, and that is giving you insta influence. Do you like that? Yes. Insta influence. And when you cultivate insta influence, you gain insta clients. Because here's the thing. When we're out networking, when we're marketing, people do not yet know the massive amount of value that we have to bring. But when we share some of our super tips, we give some of our insights, when we advise someone when they ask a question, we are sharing some of our massive value and we are building that insta influence. Right now, I'm going to give you the influence equation. Do you want it?
Yes.
Okay, here it is. Visibility, showing up, making yourself known. By the way, that's the difference. Showing up is one thing. Making yourself known where you show up is the second part of visibility. Because if you arrive late and leave early and don't open your mouth, nobody knows you're there. When you go somewhere, arrive early. Introduce yourself to everyone in the room that you don't know, or everyone you can get to, depending on the size of the group. And if you're at a networking event, if you're at a business meeting, if you're at a seminar, make sure you ask a question so you show up to the whole room. That's visibility. Introduce yourself to the speaker. Introduce yourself to the people that are running the show. I remember way back when, I went to a luncheon hosted by the Chamber of Commerce. And I live in San Francisco. I was on the board of the Chamber of Commerce, and they had a lunch co-sponsored by Oprah Magazine and Jones New York Clothing. Well, I went up to the lady who was the representative of Jones New York. I stuck my hand out, I introduced myself, and I said to her, "Thank you so much for hosting this wonderful event for us. I'm so happy to be here." And then I took a big gulp, and I mustered all my courage, and I said to her, "By the way, I'm a speaker, and if you're looking for any other speakers, I would love your consideration." Now, as I reflect on this years later, I'm shocked that I asked, because the speaker that day was the editor of O Magazine. And that's a whole nother league, right? And this is in my early years, when I'm just a small fry speaker. Do you know what she said to me? She said to me, "Do you have a video?" I said, "Yes, I do." I sent her my video, and she booked me the next week for one speech in the Bay Area, and very soon I was traveling to other cities speaking for Jones, New York. And you know what else? They gave me my own wardrobe. It was awesome. Now, I share that with you because part of building influence is showing up and making yourself known. And that's a very important thing I want you to be aware of. The second part is providing value. And when we speak, we provide value. People get to know us, they get a sense of us, and they get a sense of the value we bring. Now, people think, though, I just shared with you one of my glamorous speaking stories. But let me tell you something. I've spoken in the back of pizza restaurants. I've spoken at places like Denny's. I remember once I was giving a speech in the back room of a restaurant. I was speaking at the main table in the middle of the room. There were booths all the way around the rest of the room, but we were having a meeting, and I made the assumption that they were not going to be seating anybody else in that section. Do you know, halfway into my speech, the waitress started seating people? By the time my speech was over, I had a whole room. Every booth was full. The event coordinator didn't get up and stop them. I was giving my speech. I couldn't stop them. You just roll with it. Not all speeches are glamour speeches. But you know what? I had an 80% close ratio that day. Almost everybody at the table signed up. They probably felt sorry for me. But that's okay. However you bring in Insta clients is good, right? Visibility plus value. And the last part of the influence equation is consistency. Consistency. And I want you to know that consistency over time creates results. Consistency over time creates results. And this is why it's important not to give a speech every once in a blue moon, but to actually set a goal that you're going to speak twice a month, or 3 times a month, or 4 times a month. Now, let me tell you this. If you're speaking in the back of a pizza parlor, or you're speaking in front of 2,000 people, or you're giving a teleclass, or a webinar, or you're doing a Zoom, that all counts. And sometimes people say to me, Caterina, how did you get started? And I tell them, 3 gals and a flip chart around my dining room table. That counts too. You start where you are. Sometimes you see the big time speakers and you think, oh my gosh, I could never do that. Yes, you can. Because it's all about hours on the platform. You know, you've all heard it takes 10,000 hours to get to mastery. Well, let me tell you something. That's a big number. But you know what? Every hour on the platform in front of an audience is 1 hour closer to mastery. And when I speak to entrepreneurs like you, I often have people tell me after I finish, they come up to me and they say, Caterina, that's really good. You inspired me today. I'm not quite ready. That's the wrong answer. Don't wait until you're ready, because ready is a myth. Act when you are willing. And I hope after our time together today that you're willing to be uncomfortable, to know that when you go and you show up and you provide massive value, you will build some Insta influence, you will gain Insta clients, you will thrive, everyone will know your value, and the best part, you'll get to serve. Thank you.